Okay, so the question came in from the internet, which is a great place to have questions come from, right? That if you're using a liquid zeolite. Now, first, Clinoptilolite is a zeolite. There are no liquid zeolites. So anybody that's using that term liquid zeolite, run. They have no credibility. They have no scientific background to understand what they're talking about. So if anybody's pitching a product based on it being a liquid zeolite, run. Don't buy it. It's trash. Because anybody making that term doesn't understand what they're discussing. So Clino is in the class of zeolites, but it is one of. Quartz is a zeolite, and you should never ingest quartz because it's toxic. Arsenic is not a zeolite, and you should not ingest that either. Asbestos is a zeolite, and you should probably not inhale that because of its needle-like nature, and it can cause mesothelioma because of the damage it causes to the lungs. Bentonite is a zeolite, and it's best in a powdered form because it's what they use to make like kaopectate, right? And it's an anti-diarrheal, as is powdered clinoptilolite. So the comment was that if you're using a product like Clean Slate, you need to use a binder. No, actually you don't, because Clean Slate is the binder. And what we've seen and what I've learned from working with some of the doctors that I'm able to collaborate with, one of which, Dr. Bob Martin, who has 35 years as a medical doctor specializing in detoxification of his patients and seeing over 10,000 patients in his career, and now having one of the largest radio shows in the United States talking about health and wellness. What I did with him, I had him do an unprovoked baseline to see what was coming out of him because he lives a very clean lifestyle. He lives on the islands in Hawaii, eats insanely clean, and has done his practice for 35 years, which included taking care of himself. So we had him do a baseline. Urine excretion analysis, no provocation. You should never do a provoked study for urine excretion if you're looking at removing heavy metals because you're only going to damage yourself. So we had him do the baseline. Guess what came out? Nothing. Put him on Clean Slate for a couple days, had him start with a couple drops a day, twice a day, titrated him up over 5 days. On day 7, we had him do another urine excretion analysis, and what came out shocked him. Levels of cesium, levels of cadmium, other heavy metals that were coming out of him that he had no idea were so deeply sequestered in his body after 35 years of being in practice and doing all the things that he'd done, doing all the testing, and his baseline showing that he had nothing coming out. So he's been absolutely floored by the outcomes of what Clean Slate does. You don't have to use a binder with Clean Slate. Clean Slate is the binder. It is something you should be using every day, at least twice a day, morning and night. And if you really want amazing outcomes, you would use Clean Slate in the morning and Clean Spirits in the evening to focus on the assistance of detoxifying your liver at night as it's trying to regenerate. It's quite helpful.